Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. I'm Carrie Freeman. This is video 125, and you should know this is a liberal YouTube channel where I support Democrats and independents. So you need to know that. And what I do is I comment on the current politics, and I do runes, the Oracle runes, which I've been doing for many years, and guide me and come up with some pretty darn good responses and guidance. So there's a lot of runes in this particular reading today. And My Left Ear gets information, like psychic information, intuitive information. So sometimes I just know, and I'll share with you guidance from my left ear, aside from the runes. So when I'm not here doing videos, I call myself a change agent. I do a lot of therapy. I do therapeutic hypnosis, which is amazing. Intuitive coaching, and there is a video on my intuitive coaching below on the landing page, and you should take a look at that. That can be very, very effective, and I've helped a lot of people. And I write books. So I'm a busy woman, and I have a lot going on, and the readings have been going great. I've been hearing from a lot of people and doing a lot of sessions, so and repeat business too. So very happy about that. It's good evidence. I'm not going to go into a long thing here, but I've written some books. Information about the books will be in the community section and below in description. I have a Patreon channel that has 2 levels, 2 tiers. That will be announced all. So that's all I'm going to say right now. And if you want to contact me for any kind of session, my email is above in community, and it's in below in descriptions. Okay. And lastly, as you know, we all say for entertainment purposes only. And, needless to say, please subscribe, please like. That really helps all of us that are doing this. All right, now we begin. I did the meditation on Monday. I think it was Monday. Maybe it was Tuesday. I can't remember. Anyway, it went well, and I've gotten a lot of feedback, and it was a pleasure to do it. And you're welcome. I think it's important that we just kind of focus and align right now and stick together. There's power in numbers. All right, so what I did today, rather than talk, which I have my little bites at the end, news bites, but I'm starting out, I'm just going rune. I asked a lot of questions that I'm hoping you'll be interested in the results, and I got some very interesting answers from the runes today. So here we go. I asked the runes, will Americans lose Medicare and Social Security? Because it's pretty scary. The idea is pretty damn scary, and it will cause, I can't even describe the chaos it will cause all over the United States if this would happen. All right, so I asked, and I got the rune fertility. And excuse me, and fertility is about new beginnings. It's a rune that indicates an urge towards harmonizing, which is a lovely word, and quotes completion of beginnings. And that's good. Completion of beginnings, and indicates an urge, and is what's required. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Is what's required. Like a new start. And a new start to my intuitive brain is in the House and the Senate. That's the new start that will protect Medicare and Social Security. So that's a little input. And fertility marks a time of joyful deliverance. That is absolutely literal out of Ralph Blum's book. That's a good answer. It's about new life, a new path, improvement. Provide strength to achieve completion. Well, this is a very good response, right, to the question. Then I got the blank rune, which often maybe scares people a little bit because it's mysterious. The blank rune is a little mysterious. It's both the ending and the beginning. So this is what my left ear intuited, is that the ending is the end of this, how can I put it? Threat to invade democracy. So that's just what I say. It holds undiluted potential. It's sort of like the beginning and the end. So it's the end of having a minimal majority and then that majority goes up so we can get this stuff handled. It will bring up our fears, the blank rune, because the unknown always brings up our fears, right? It can portend a death, but it's the death of fear. That's what I think. So in the blankness is held undiluted potential. So it's very hopeful. And then I got gateway. Gateway. Now the advice is, before you step through the gateway, pause. Review the past and what brought you here. The learnings, the joys, the victories, and the sorrow. And there certainly has been a lot of that. Observe it, bless it, release it, and reclaim your power. And you know, when I asked this question, I did ask, but I didn't write it down. But when because what I do is I'm holding these and I'm warming them up, and then I put my hand in there and I find the ones that feel right to me. I asked if we're safe for the next 5 years, because I've noticed that the runes seem to respond nicely when I give them a time frame. So I want to mention that to you. We're not going to lose Social Security or Medicare right now. All right. Then I asked the runes, and it's really interesting because I asked this before I looked at Twitter, and there's a whole new story about Clarence Thomas today on Twitter that goes back to 2020, and it's an email that was discovered from the GOP saying, was it about Georgia? Because my reading isn't about this, but I just want you to know about this because more icky news, icky, very sophisticated word, right? On Clarence Thomas. So this happened, I've discovered this after I did these runes. So it's okay, it's good. Will Dems win the House and impeach Clarence Thomas? Aha. I got the rune Journey. Journey is concerned with communication, something that has two sides. Well, that's very literal, isn't it? It is the ultimate union that comes at the end of a journey. Well, that's a good sign to me that this may go forward, but it may not be. I don't think, well, it come to the end here and I'll tell you, but I don't think this is their immediate thing they're going to do. So, I just want to mention that. So it's about winning. Ask what constitutes right action. Not everyone will be for impeaching Clarence. I would think most of the Democrats will. There may be holdups, which I just said I don't think it's going to happen right away. And it may not be the immediate priority. Okay, that's what I was trying to say to you. So Journey is concerned with unobstructed, perfect union. Delays, holdups would not be unusual, okay? Then I got Gateway. Gateway, which I've gotten a few times today. Before you step through the gateway, pause. Review the past and what brought you here, the learnings and the joys, victories and sorrows. Observe it, bless it, release it, and reclaim your power, Dems. Cut in half, the gateway rune becomes joy. So there would only be joy if Clarence Thomas, he's a rogue justice. It would be great. The end is in sight. But here's here's like the real information. The last rune was harvest, and harvest talks about a fertile season, and impeaching Clarence could take up to a year because it's not the super priority. This is what my left ear thinks. Harvest is about fertility, and the rune actually talks about 1 year because the growth has to grow. And harvest is about fertility. So in 1 year, there's the harvest and the deliverance of this, and patience is essential. I would say when the Democrats maintain and actually add a seat or two to the House, this will happen. They will go after Clarence, and especially after I read today. It was like the GOP underhandedly was saying, well, when this happens, let's turn it over to Clarence Thomas so he can, put a hold on it or, rule against it. So this is not looking good for Mr. Thomas, but he's a jerk. He's dishonest, as well as his wife. They're seditionists, and they need to be held accountable. That's my speech. So, next set of runes. I'm going back to this. I asked this maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I'm going back to it because we're really hitting critical mass now, aren't we? Will Trump see one indictment before Thanksgiving? Well, the first rune I pulled was disruption. When I pulled it, I went, cool. Indicates a pressing need within the psyche to break free. It's a rune of elemental disruption, and it always operates in the negative and the reversed. It is the great awakener, and that would be for him, for Donald. Not a good awakening. The onset of power may be such as to rip away the fabric of what you previously knew as your work, your security, your beliefs, and relationships. Man, isn't that literal? Gee whiz. All right, then the second rune I got was reversed. Berkana is the rune of growth, but I got it upside down. And it tells us aspects of character interfere with growth. Which I think is just funny. Aspects of character interfere with growth. Like if we apply that to Donald Trump, oh my God, that's like true 1,000 times. The rune asks, are you placing your own wants and needs above others? Yeah, like my whole life, he says. All right, then the third rune, because this is so clear. I don't need to go on and on about it. I got the rune of separation reversed. So once again, this is a time of separating old paths. That would be separating from his power, his connections, his not getting arrested, old paths, when he got away with everything, cheated, lied. It says, old skins must be shed, outmoded relationships discarded, and then the final sentence is great. This is a rune of radical severance. So I'm just going out on a limb here. I think something's going to happen before Thanksgiving. I think there's going to be one. I think they've been waiting for the midterms, so we will see. We will see. And I asked the runes a question, and I pulled my first rune, and I went, okay, I don't need to look any further, and that will happen from time to time. So I'm just going to tell you because it's funny. Here's the next rune that I pulled one. Will Twitter fail under Elon Musk? And I don't know if you know this, my friends, but advertisers are leaving. They're leaving. They won't pay any money, and they're leaving. Well, the rune I pulled was the rune of joy reversed. Need I say more? Joy reversed. It's not going to be good for the very arrogant Elon Musk. Arrogant and overrated. All right, so one more runes. Oh no, I have two more runes, and they're about the election. Two people that I'm particularly interested in, or two races. Carrie Lake is running for governor of Arizona against Katie Hobbs. And Carrie Lake is a nightmare. I mean, she's really a bad lady. So I asked, will Katie Hobbs be next governor of Arizona? And I got the rune Defense. And Defense tells us, as we are tested, we fund the power to avert blockage and defeat. So that's positive. If they're up, and I have a take on this, so stay with me, a personal take on this. If there appears to be an obstacle in your path, Katie, consider even a delay may prove beneficial. Now, what I wrote, Carrie's fight and claims of cheating. She's not going to back down if she loses, Carrie Lake, and she's going to lobby lawsuits and cause a lot of trouble. My left ear. This rune speaks of the difficulties that can arise at the beginning of new life. And that would be, kind of Katie Hobbs' difficulties dealing with this GOP maniac woman. Often, though, it announces a time of waiting, which is what I said, because Carrie Lake is going to contest the outcome. It will get resolved. Then I got disruption. To the question, will Katie Hobbs be next governor of Arizona? And disruption says change, freedom, liberation, but with challenges that are beyond Katie Hobbs' control. And that links with the previous message that I just shared with you. It always operates via reversal. And once again, I wrote in Carrie Lake's fight to win. It indicates a pressing need within the psyche to break free. The onset of power may be such as to rip away the fabric of what you previously knew as your work, your security, beliefs, and relationships. In a strange way, that would be true of both of them for different reasons. Ripping away the fabric of what they previously knew as their work, security, beliefs, and relationships. And I just feel that applies to both of these candidates. And then I got a good one. Possessions, the rune of possessions. This is a rune of fulfillment, ambition satisfied, rewards received. Conserve what has already been gained. This rune urges vigilance and continual mindfulness in times of good fortune. And it won't be easy for Katie Hobbs. Carrie Lake, I think very little of her, but she's got a lot of guts and is a force and is aggressive, and she lies. And I don't know if you know this, but Carrie Lake did a little one-on-one interview in Arizona and made fun of Nancy Pelosi and her husband, Paul Pelosi. And the interviewer just laughed and laughed, and the audience laughed. And this is the mentality that we are dealing with. All right. Now, this is the last rune. I had the same feeling about Charlie Crist running against Ron DeSantis. I really want Charlie Crist to win. Here we go. This is kind of unbelievable because I've been wondering if Charlie Crist could push through this Ron DeSantis power that he has or seemingly has had in Florida. But I got breakthrough / transformation. So it signals a major shift or breakthrough, a complete transformation. It is so radical that he is not living the ordinary life in the ordinary way. And again, strangely, That would be DeSantis if he loses, and that would be Crist. I'm going to say when he wins. They're both not going to be living the ordinary life. Now, because the timing is right, the outcome is assured, although not from the present vantage point, predictable. In each life comes a moment that, when seized, transforms the course of that life. A period of achievement and prosperity is often introduced by this rune. And I'm just going to pop in because it just came to me. I don't know how much everybody has been watching, but Barack Obama has been everywhere, like the movie Zelig. I don't know if you remember the movie Zelig, but Zelig was a character that showed up everywhere, and it was very funny. But Obama has been passionately campaigning, and he's been on fire. He's been fantastic. And this may be the reason why I'm getting this reading about Charlie Crist, if it's correct. Then I got the rune opening. This is the rune of opening and renewed clarity, dispelling darkness that has been shrouding some part of life. And that darkness would be Darth DeSantis. And then I received fertility. Very good. New beginnings. Rune indicates an urge towards harmonizing. Getting Flora to harmonize again. Completion of beginnings. It's what is required, which is like a new start. And fertility marks a time of joyful deliverance. New life, new path. It provides strength to achieve completion. And I just want you to know, I do not manipulate the runes. I just sit down, I center, and I go with it. And if I have to deliver some negative news, I deliver it, So these runes today, very interesting answers that I did not completely expect. All right, now here's my little part where I go news bites, where I just share some stuff with you, boom, 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 as we finish out. I saw Admiral Cerritos on TV. He is my favorite officer or former officer when he speaks, because he's so clear, he's so experienced, and he's so assured. Love this man. And he talked about Ukraine. He says, first off, Russia is flailing badly. So I'm going to repeat that. Just know this. Russia is flailing badly. And if Admiral Cerritos says that, you can take it to the bank. In Kherson, in Ukraine, Russians have been relocating Ukrainian citizens for weeks, prepping for an attack, a takeover, because Kherson provides access to Crimea and the Black Sea, which is crucial. And Cerritos says, watch activity in the Black Sea. Putin had initially planned to withhold grains, which arrive via the Black Sea in shipments. But he reversed, and he's releasing the grains because the admiral says he knows that if he withholds the grains right before winter, NATO ships will show up in the Black Sea, Navy ships will show up in the Black Sea, and they'd fight this thing, they'd get the grains. But that's not happening. Putin, I don't think he gets much advice, but he rethought that. So there's going to be grains, there's going to be some food before winter. Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's longtime husband, father, grandfather. There's been a lot of propaganda from the GOP about the assault in the middle of the night on Mr. Pelosi. They're trying to cast doubt and creating a lot of questions, but I have some good news for you. They're saying he didn't break in, that Trump lied and said, well, the glass was on the outside, on the pavement, not inside the house, which means it's, that didn't happen. Not so. We have camera footage. We have camera footage of this guy smashing the glass and breaking in. So nobody can make up stories, because there were stories going around saying, this story is fishy, there's more to it, what's going on? No, there's evidence, my favorite word. Mr. Pelosi is still in ICU, intensive care unit, and to my knowledge, he's going to require numerous surgeries, and I think that would be on his arms and his hands. And man, oh man, I cannot imagine waking up with a stranger. And, Paul Pelosi really kept his wits about him. I mean, he managed to get his cell phone. He asked the guy a question. Can I go to the bathroom? He dials 911. He lets them hear, and they come. It was brilliant. And so Andrew Weissman, the attorney, was commenting on that Paul Pelosi and Nancy Pelosi are both extremely strong people who handle the moment and the emergencies. So he's a pretty impressive guy. And then SCOTUS, the Supreme Court. It looks like they may reverse or alter affirmative action, which is another crashing decision by the Supreme Court. They are dismantling. If they stay intact, expect them to want to reverse gay marriage and more rights. But, Clarence Thomas might be removed. All right. And then someone that, I was gonna say something about Kanye, who's now Ye. He was just dropped by everybody for his anti-Semitism. Adidas, CAA is the biggest talent agency around. They dropped him. Anna Wintour and Vogue dropped him. Gap stopped carrying his lines. The Wax Museum removed him. Instagram just banned him for 30 days. I'm disappointed. It's only 30 days. And then he invented a school of some kind that I think is called Donda. And I heard that it closed and then it reopened. And he also walked into in LA, I think the corporate office for Skechers, and they unannounced, they didn't know he was coming, and they escorted him out. In addition, this pathetic man, Kanye, compared his troubles to George Floyd and said, I feel like George Floyd with a knee on my neck, if you can fathom that. And worse, he likened himself to Emmett Till. So he's just a boy who became a millionaire, billionaire, and he's not well. All right, that's it for the tidbits. Now we're going to do good evidence. And today I'm going to share a story with you. It's very short, that is just gorgeous. And it's about good evidence. It's about giving it and receiving it. And it's true. So in a nutshell, this is the story. A man with cancer who, of limited means, had to give up his precious dog in order to receive treatment. He had nobody to care for the dog, and he had to deliver the dog to a shelter. The man was destroyed. There was video of him sobbing. Well, a nurse in the facility where he was being treated heard the story, and she went and she adopted his dog. She brought the dog to the facility, and he broke down. The man broke down. And she told him that she's taking care of his dog and she's giving him his dog when he completes treatment. This is just one of the most beautiful stories I've ever encountered, and I wanted to share it with you. I still have a picture of this man just sobbing. finding out he didn't lose his dog. And I bet those of you who have dogs really relate to this. Beautiful. Okay, quote. I found this quote yesterday, and it just reminds me of the people that are following the GOP, the people that are for the GOP. And this is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. He wrote, "People only see what they are prepared to see." And this would be, you know, the MAGAs for the most part. People only see what they are prepared to see. Ralph Waldo Emerson. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like and subscribe. I'll be back with a Patreon. We're getting close to covering all 25 runes. We're getting pretty close to it. So I'll be back with runes and celebrity stories. And I say to you, have a great rest of your week. Hold the faith and make peace, make memories, good memories.